Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video of Under the Radar. Today is the final episode of Season 2, so hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you've been watching since episode 1 of Season 2. Today we'll be covering Sharife Cooper. Now Ari, why are you even covering Sharife Cooper? I mean, this guy is blowing up in high school, his nice mixtapes and layup package and his handles and his passing are amazing. But yes, those were amazing. He was amazing in high school. Not saying that he didn't dominate in college, which he actually did. He actually dominated college. But I need to talk about what made him underrated. Now, let me explain. He recently entered his name into the 2021 NBA draft. And honestly, I did not think that he would actually declare, but I guess he's in a bit of a rush going into the NBA. But let me explain what actually happened. Now, we all know that Sharife Cooper blew up in high school for all them highlights and mixtapes, right? He averaged 27 points, 8 assists, 5.6 rebounds, and 4.3 steals, which is amazing. Of course, he's a 5-star recruit. He's the 20th in his class. He has Mr. Georgia Basketball, USA Today All-USA Player of the Year in 2019, and McDonald's All-American in 2020, along with the rest of the pandemic class with Jalen Green and Amari Burnett, who were said to be McDonald's All-Americans, but unfortunately, the All-American game couldn't happen because of the pandemic. Now, these are the list of schools that were interested in Sharife Cooper. Now, these are the notable ones that I actually highlighted. I mean, I can literally show it to you guys in Laddies for the rest of the screen, but these are the notables. Arizona State, Clemson, Florida, Kentucky, UCLA, and USC. And you guys and ladies got it right. 2 of the March Madness teams actually recruited him, including Kentucky. If you don't even, consider Kentucky as like a top 2, top 3 option, you have to get Kentucky, man. Like, Kentucky. If Calipari is calling you, you have to answer, man. Even I would call Calipari. I'm like, what's up, man? I'm a fan of yours. But he ended up taking Auburn. Now, honestly, I think that he'd definitely fit in Arizona because of Remy Martin. I think Remy Martin, going into his senior year, could actually teach like Sharife how to really increase his shooting numbers, because that's one of Sharife's issues during the Auburn season that he had. Now, what made it hard for him exactly to, play in college? Because right now, he has a pretty darn shady head coach as Bruce Pearl, the current head coach of Auburn men's basketball. Coach Bruce is known to have so much incidents. The 1988 to 89 Deion Thomas incident, the 1992 to 2001 Southern Indiana issue. He was also banned from Division II men's basketball in the States. And the fact that you were banned from Division II, that's not a good sign. The 2004 Milwaukee, incident, and then the 2010 barbecue where he apparently invited highly recruited prospects and high schoolers like Aaron Kraft to his home, but he was actually denying, even though there's actually photographic evidence that Aaron Kraft was actually there. And guess who else got involved? The feds, the FBI got involved. That's how shady the head coach of Auburn really is. So these issues unfortunately halted the beginning of Sharife's season in Auburn. Because instead of playing a full season, Sharife only played less than 20 games, which is not much of a good sample size. But in those 20 games that he played, less than 20 games that he played, he actually dominated. He had 20 points, 4.3 rebounds, 8 assists, 1 steal, but he had little issues here and there that he needs to polish before he gets to the NBA. Because you already see the flashy signs that, okay, this guy can make it big in the league. It's just he's a raw prospect. He has the IQ of it. He has the IQ of an NBA player. He can finish like an NBA player. He can set his teammates up like an NBA player. But the problem that he is having right now is his shot consistency. Shot consistency is the most critical value you need as a guard because in the NBA is dominated by a lot of scoring guards. Examples: Russell Westbrook and Steph Curry. You need shooting. I mean, you could be Russell Westbrook, but Sharife isn't as athletic as Russell Westbrook. He has hops, but he doesn't have hops, as in bunnies, literally injected in his legs kind of hops. But he had such a good run at Auburn, but I honestly think there is still something missing. Because the lack of exposure of him, being really in college is really giving a second thought for NBA teams really taking him. Because, okay, why should we take a guy who didn't really play a lot in the college season? His team got banned off NCAA tournaments because of his coach, which is not his fault completely. But the lack of exposure in the such a small sample size that we're seeing, it's kind of weird and missing because the other prospects in the first round, they all played nearly fully seasons. Like at least their conference, obviously, uh Auburn is in the same conference as Kentucky with the SEC conference, but I honestly think if um Sharif had this issue, it never happened, when he didn't take Auburn. But I don't understand why he went to Auburn. I get it that Isaac Okoro was there, and Okoro is such a great wing player and a good friend of his. But I don't get it. Why should you go to such a controversial team like Auburn instead of going to Kentucky? Yes, Kentucky wasn't amazing this past college season, but you have Calipari. If you have Calipari as your coach, he is literally willing to raise you like a toddler up to the sky for the whole world to see. If you were the baby lion cub in Lion King, I think John Calipari is your Rafiki. You know, he just raises you up like Simba kind of thing. But it's so unfortunate that he got caught up in the Auburn business and the Bruce Pearl business. Because of that Bruce Pearl business, his draft stock was like a bouncing ball. It went up, it went down. It went up, it went down. Because the most important thing in college is you need to play as much games as possible. So the NBA scouts will be like, okay, we can kind of feel like how this guy is really like, but this lack of exposure is really gonna hurt him. And looking at his placement right now in the draft boards, it's not looking good. Like he's in the second round to late first round kind of pick thing. Because if you're beyond the 10th pick in the NBA draft, you're for sure gonna go to the G League. Unless your team really believes in you. Because you're gonna be like another issue like Lonnie Walker. Because Lonnie is a sensational player, but it took a while for him to actually mature. Because Lonnie had to switch quickly from college to the NBA. So it's quite a switch. So they had to send him to Austin, and after his year and a half with Austin, he became way better. But I think Sharif, he needs to serve some time in the G League a little bit. I'm not saying that I don't believe him that he can go straight to the NBA. I honestly think that he can go straight to the NBA, but right now it's looking not very well for him. Because the thing is, most of the first round, second round picks have set themselves up for success because if you were at least had your foot on the door in March Madness, the biggest college basketball event in the whole entire world, and if you miss that, you're really gonna hurt your draft stock. And Sharif was like, as hyped as Jalen Suggs and Jalen Green, but the difference between Jalen Suggs and Jalen Green to Sharif is they both made the playoffs. He didn't make it. He didn't make it to the March Madness. At least Suggs had quite a run, that unbelievable shot, that bank shot, which basically led Gonzaga to the championship. And at least Jalen had some experience in the first round of the NBA G League playoffs. I mean, yes, they got completely destroyed by 905. I mean, 905 is a completely more experienced team than Ignite. Ignite are just like a bunch of learners. So I honestly think that Sharife should spend a little time in the G League. I'm not saying that he should spend this whole season there, but at least 10 to 15 games or more. Because really, 3 point consistency is what's going to hurt his draft stock even more. Because guards in the NBA are expected to score from three, like from easily. I mean, he can score from three. Almost any guard now in the NBA can make threes except Ben Simmons, even though he has a shooting sleeve on his left arm, but he still can't shoot for shit. But Cooper needs to really work on it. And the thing is, he literally risked it all when he declared for the NBA draft because Johnny Juzang and other highly sought out college prospects, they left their college eligibility. That means they can actually come back to college if they want to. For example, okay, I don't like the position I am in the NBA draft. I mean, I want to be the 18th pick, but I might just have to dip for this one. It's already the 19th and I still haven't been picked. I might just go back to college. But Sharif, he went for the full risk mode. Like he didn't leave his college eligibility open. That means he can't go back to college. So this is a one shot stop. So if he can't get it in the draft, he has to sign with a team. Or if he doesn't get signed by a team, he has to play overseas. So that is basically my analogy of Sharife Cooper. So if you ladies and gentlemen love today's video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you beautiful people next week. Bye bye.